All right, so considering the 18th century, what was a continent? All right, so now the key thing here is to understand that I'm going through history at the moment. All right, we're discussing national interest, of course, along with but I'm giving you key events that kind of s- established our current political system here, right? So it says, considering the 18th century, what was a continent? All right. Now, during the 18th century, a continent, the continent to be in, was the territories of mainland Europe. You had many superpowers. You had France, you had Germany. Well, you had France, you had Britain, you had Spain. Okay, you had all of these empires there in Europe. So that was kind of considered a continent. Now, taking politics into a little bit more in depth, the United States, you could have considered it a continent, but it, here we're discussing the 18th century, and the 18th century is basically a massive amount of nations right next to each other. All right, so a continent, all right, were the territories of mainland Europe during the 18th century. Now we're in the 21st century, 2019. We have seven continents. We have Europe, Asia, Africa. We have um, North America, South America. Okay, and there's even something called a subcontinent, right? India is considered a subcontinent. India is humongous. It's huge. It is very big. Um, Yeah, I'll even consider even Russia a subcontinent and China a subcontinent because they're just so big. All right, but a great example of a subcontinent would be India. All right, so considering the 18th century, from this perspective, a continent at that moment it was known as mainland Europe. Right, a massive amount of Europe, massive, not massive. I'm sorry, a grouping of nations alongside of each other, powerful nations at that.